eyeliner wings. You're so good at that. You know, I was just thinking, I went through like 3 different lipsticks before we got to this. If you're watching us on YouTube, that you see now the lipstick I'm wearing. Do you ever? This probably doesn't happen to you because you're so good at makeup. But do you ever have one of those days where you like put your lipstick on and you're like, I look like a child who is putting makeup on for the first time, and it's like all over. It's like all outside my lips. It's like I don't know.
Well, you have to draw on each thing. Like you can't just like do like that or like
Uh-huh.
go. You have to
Oh, I
like.
do that. You're not supposed to blot your
Mm-mm.
lips.
Well, you can as long as you don't do the whole thing. Like
Oh,
I
see, I
draw
like put it
on.
on and then I'm like, meh, 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 like a Muppet.
No. So
No?
see
Yeah.
how there's a cute cupid's bow?
I
You have to
know.
draw it on like that.
You're so good at that. I feel like I need a tutorial. I don't think I ever properly learned how to put on makeup.
That's okay.
Like no one told me how to I mean, I know there's tons of tutorials I could educate
Mhm.
myself, but and I did go through like a phase where I watched a lot of not YouTube videos, but more like Instagram. Like I would just like I got obsessed with just watching
Mhm.
people do these elaborate
Yeah.
like Instagram makeup videos,
Yeah.
but and I think I've gotten better with the eyes, but and I'm sure this is the content that all of our listeners came for, was to hear me talk about my makeup insecurities, but I just like
Aw.
I think it's fun and I wish I was
Yeah, for
I
me
wish
it
I was
was
better at it.
just trial and error. Like
Mhm.
I never really watched tutorials. I just kind of like I looked at pictures and then I just tried to recreate them. I don't
Mhm.
know. I don't like to watch videos. It's like
Of
kind
people
of
putting
like
on makeup.
no, just like in general. I just don't like
Oh,
watching videos. I like to read. So
so this
everything
week's
online I just
episode must have
read.
been torturous for you.
No, like if it's like a friend's sketch
Yeah,
video or like sketch
yeah,
video, like that's if it's like
sure.
narrative or something, but like in terms of like
Like
cooking or makeup
vloggers. Yeah.
or vloggers or any like interview or
I
um
could literally watch people cook food on YouTube or Instagram for hours. Like I could just watch people cook stuff. I don't know why. I just really like watching that stuff.
I have seen one video by accident of a
Mhm.
it just intrigued me so much I had to keep watching, but
Yeah.
it's a woman who makes her face up to look like celebrities, like not their style of makeup,
But
but like
makes
she
their
makes up
facial
her
structure.
facial
I've
structure to look
seen
like
that. That is
celebrities. Isn't it
crazy. Like,
amazing?
is she the one who made herself look like Jack Sparrow? Like, she made herself look like
Yes.
Johnny Depp? That was so fucking cool.
Yeah, she did Julia Roberts, Michael Jackson,
Wow.
um, Kim Kardashian, and she really like when you look at it afterwards, like it's very like
Mhm.
rough,
Mhm.
but like she wouldn't look good if she went out. It's definitely
Mhm.
like
I wouldn't think so.
it's definitely an artistic
Okay.
thing, but it looks so similar. Like you take one look and you're like, that's
I would
Julia
love
Roberts.
I would love to see her do Adam Driver or Andy
Oh my
Samberg. I would love
gosh.
to see that. What if this would never happen? But what if she did like half Adam's face, half Andy's face?
Oh my
I would
gosh.
fucking
Let's
lose my
commission
shit.
her.
Let us commission her. I'm sure she would be like, "Sure, I'll do that for like thousands of
But
dollars."
like
You
how do you
weirdos. But
How do
come
you
on.
take like a celebrity's face and translate that to your own face in just like a few simple brush
It's
strokes? Like
the
I
fucking
I don't
contouring, dude.
understand it. It's like a genius.
It's the contouring.
Hmm.
You have to understand. I don't understand contouring, but I
I
feel like you
understand
can.
contouring, but my own face, not someone else's face.
Okay.
Like I can't contour someone else's face on my face, is what I'm saying.
Sure. I mean, it's like shape shifting, right?
Hmm.
Um, welcome, listeners, to the Adam and Andy
Welcome
podcast.
to
I'm
our
one of your
ramblings.
I'm one of your hosts, Nicole,
I'm your other host, Sarah.
and I'm sure that you definitely came here to listen to us talk about makeup. That's why you're here,
Hmm.
obviously. So I guess we'll move on from that
Yeah.
and talk about what we really came here to do, which is to talk about the filmographies, or in this week's case, the
Videographies?
webographies
Webographies? Okay.
of
Is that a real
our
word?
it is now
Okay.
of our two favorite actors, Adam Driver and Andy Samberg. And today we have a virtual charcuterie plate
Ooh.
of uh Lonely Island videos. That's what
Mm-hmm.
Sarah and I got together last night. We huddled next to my computer. We got on YouTube like they would do in the olden
In
days,
the olden days.
and went all the way back to the beginning of Lonely Island's
Pre
videos.
SNL. That was the
Yep.
important distinction. Pre
Yes.
SNL Lonely Island.
So low budge, very low budge.
Mm-hmm.
So we will get into that because that was an experience for sure. So we'll get into that. But before we do, would you like to get into some Adam and Andy news?
Yeah.
I am going to preemptively decide which one we're going to go with first because I have a little special treat for our Andy time today during Adam and Andy news. So I'm just going to start with Adam. So some things that happened with Adam this week. Adam attended the New York City premiere of his wife Joanne's film Give and Take. So Adam was spotted at that
Is it
premiere.
her film that she created, or is it a film she acted in?
She acted in it. So it looks
Okay.
to me, because I watched the trailer, it looks, it looks cute. And not cute. That's a very derogatory term. I feel like it looks like, looks like a good, interesting indie film. Um, uh, it looks like maybe she has like a supporting role in it. She wasn't in the trailer very much, but I think it was shot like pre-pandemic and then was like maybe released at film festivals and stuff in the last couple years, and I think now maybe just now they felt comfortable having like a public premiere. So Adam was out on the town with his wife. There were actually a lot of Adam sightings last week. People were like tweeting like, "Oh my god, Adam Driver is at this place that I'm at." But it would be like, "Adam Driver's here." And then they'd be like, "Oh no, he left already." Like he would like it's like he like came in, got a cocktail, circled the bar, and then was like, "I'm out."
Yeah. Sounds
Or
like him.
maybe yeah, it does sound like him. Or maybe they just he went unnoticed for a while. I'm not sure. But anyway, so Adam's been seen out and around. The goatee is back. In case you're wondering, the goatee. Fans of Adam's goatee rejoice because the goatee is back at least for now. Still no trailer for 65. People are getting very antsy. It's supposed to be out in April, I think. So
I need dinosaurs, and I need them now.
I need dinosaurs. I need Adam running away from dinosaurs.
Mm-hmm.
I
Or
need
riding
Adam
them,
riding dinosaurs. Yes,
like
please.
that horse.
Give me Adam give me Adam running down a beach next to a dinosaur a la the Burberry campaign.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I want. So we haven't gotten it yet. Let's see what else. Oh, Adam, another very exciting thing for Adam fans this week. Adam is reportedly going to be attending the César Awards in France, where he's been nominated for Best Actor for Annette. So we
Nice.
might get an Adam red carpet signing.
Cool.
Couldn't tell you when those awards are. My journalistic integrity is not the best. So tweeted us at AdamAndyPod. When are those awards? I didn't write it down, but I'm looking forward to hopefully getting a glimpse of Adam and his goatee on the red carpet. The big news this week, though, is that Adam has been cast in his next film project. So let me just pull up the article so that I can get some more details here. So Adam is going to star as Enzo Ferrari in Michael Mann's film Ferrari alongside Penelope Cruz and Shailene Woodley. So a little bit about the movie. Let's see. The film, which Michael Mann, I don't know if you're familiar with Michael Mann, but he's like he does a lot of like gritty, manly sort of movies. Anyway, he's been working on this movie for 2 years. It's set in the summer of 1957. Ex-race car driver Enzo Ferrari is in crisis. Bankruptcy stalks his company, and he and his wife, that he and his wife built from nothing. They have a tempestuous marriage, and he is going to counter his losses by rolling the dice on one big race 1,000 miles across Italy. So it's going to be shooting in Italy again. So he'll be back in Italy, and playing race car driver.
Another Italian.
That's in his
He's being
wheelhouse
typecast.
now.
Kidding.
And Penelope Cruz is playing his wife, and I believe Shailene Woodley is playing the
Daughter?
mistress.
Mistress?
I believe mistress. You don't like it already?
Shailene Woodley? Isn't she? I guess
She's-
she's in her 30s.
Is she? Let's
I think
find out.
so.
Let's find out. I mean, she's an adult, you know.
She's definitely an adult. I thought she was around my age or so.
Let's see. She is 30 years old. So
Okay,
she's
so
not.
she's-
She's Adam's only like 6 years. Wait, yeah, 8 years.
Adam is 40 something.
He's not 40. He's like
He's
30.
not?
I think he's 38, right?
Oh, okay.
We should know. We should know. We
Well,
celebrated his birthday.
Why do I
I'm
think
pretty
he's like
sure
46 or something? I know
because he has 40-year-old energy. That's
he
why.
does. He does.
His energy is that of a man in his 40s. He is 38.
Okay.
So he's
Okay,
not.
that's
he's
fair. But
8 years
Penelope
old.
Cruz is like what, in her 50s?
Good for her. Good for her. I want to.
Nicole, you're like, finally.
This is the world that I want to see. I want to see women who are 47 years old. 47. I want to see a woman who's 47 years old, just like, you know, having a
Married
big
to a
old
38-year-old.
Yes. Let's have these women in the prime of their sexual lives. That's what I want.
And then the husbands cheat on them with a 30-year-old.
I'm sure. Let's not pass judgment until we get there. But yeah. So that's what's next for Adam. So he'll be back in shooting in Italy, which I guess means more gifts from the Italian paparazzi.
Mm-hmm.
They seemed pretty relentless. Now, Lady Gaga, I'm sure, was a huge attraction for the paparazzi while she was there. So I don't know if we'll get quite the level of coverage we did for House of Gucci, but we'll see. Okay, so that's all I've got for Adam. So for Andy, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, the show that we all know and love, has been acquired by Comedy Central to broadcast the rights. So I don't know if that means I assume it's still going to be on Peacock as well. I don't know if that means it's being pulled from Hulu or what. That will obviously impact you and I watching it. But anyway, I don't know if that means that Comedy Central is necessarily, because those are the internet rights. So I don't know. Anyway, Comedy Central is going to be running Brooklyn Nine-Nine on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and they're going to kick off their Brooklyn Nine-Nine ship with a marathon. This recording, as of this recording, it'll be past already, but on Sunday, February 20th, they'll be having a marathon. So by the time this episode comes out, the marathon will be over, but for those of you in the know, there was a marathon on Sunday the 20th of all episodes of Brooklyn Nine-Nine on Comedy Central. So that's what's going on with Gandy. And then also, here's the big special thing. Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers trailer is out.
Okay.
Did you watch it?
No.
Great, because we're gonna watch it.
If you didn't send it to me, I didn't
right?
watch it.
We're gonna watch it right now. So we're gonna
Okay.
watch it. We're gonna react to it. I'm not gonna say anything about it. I'm just gonna copy paste into the chat. So if you look at the chat on Zoom, and I'm going to pull up the trailer. Did you find it?
Hold on.
What?
Sorry.
Are you okay over there?
Yeah.
Okay, get it all the way to the beginning, and then tell me when you're ready.
Okay, I'm just gonna let it play the
ad. Yeah, once you're through the ad, let me know.
Okay, I am all the way at the beginning.
You ready?
Yes.
All right, mine's playing. Is yours playing?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
Real Hollywood story. Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, the show that defined a generation and turned two unknown chipmunks into international superstars. But as success took Chip and Dale to new heights.
Got some nostalgia.
Many more seasons of the Rescue Rangers.
We were living the dream, dancing the Roger Rabbit.
So we've got
with
Paul
Roger Rabbit.
Paul Abdul, little Roger Rabbit.
No one ever imagined
Sightseeing!
it could all come crashing down.
So we've got like a behind the
Torn
music
by vanity.
kind of thing.
You look different.
Hey, it's no secret I had the CGI surgery done.
Consumed by temptation.
My love of cheese got the best of me. I just love it so much.
More, please. More, please.
I mean, honestly, that's
Is
a
it
mood. I
possible
love
that two
cheese
living
also.
legends are destined to reunite?
I'm thinking reboot.
Nobody wants a reboot.
The Rescue Rangers!
You need a disguise or something. Grab the first thing you can. What? Rescue Rangers 2.0.
Wow, that's a lot of cartoon cameos.
This place looks weird.
Remember that animation style where everything looked real, but nothing looked right?
Who are you?
Okay,
Are you
this
talking
is
to
good.
us?
Obviously.
But it looks like you're talking to that window.
It actually looks like I'm looking right at you.
Okay.
Look at my eyes, looking right at your eyes.
Yeah.
J.K. Simmons. Okay, so May 20th, Chippendale Rescue Rangers. Sarah, you had the most serious expression on your face. It was like it was almost like we were watching a trailer for Power of the Dog for a second there. I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
really know how to I don't know how to read what's going on in your mind. You're gonna have to tell me how you're feeling about that.
That is like definitely a kind of movie I hate.
Oh gosh, really?
Yeah. The animation mixed with live action, and then like
Okay.
I already hate that, but having like two different styles of animation with live action is like,
So you just you're upset by it.
and plus it doesn't seem that funny or
Okay.
original.
Okay.
It seems like they were just like, let's make money. How can we do that?
Well, that
I don't know,
seems
like
to be no, that's fair. That seems to be the whole premise of the movie, though, of like let's get the gang back together for money reasons, but maybe there's some kind of like other.
oh
Maybe
no,
there's
I was
some
talking about
deeper plot there.
the studios saying
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, look, reboots are everywhere, right? I mean, the Jurassic Park trailer just dropped. You're not
that
alone.
looks fun. The Jurassic Park trailer because it has the old people.
Sure. Well, for me, okay, so first of all, was this a show that you watched when you were a kid? Because some people like was a big deal for them. The Chippendale Rescue Rangers was their fucking jam, No? So you
No.
have no interest in those characters, or no
Mm-mm.
emotional stakes. Okay.
Mm.
I don't either. My sister, who is like 3.5 years younger than me, was like, that was like her favorite show. Like she would come home from school and watch that show and like loved it. I haven't actually talked to her about this. I don't even know if she's watched the trailer, but you're not alone in that there are other people that watch the trailer and they're like, what the fuck is this? I think there are people who have watched it and been like, that doesn't seem like the show that I know, and I feel like they didn't seem but there are other people who are like, this looks really weird, and Lonely Island is all about weird, and I'm into it. So
Did they write it?
I think so. I mean, Akiva directed it. I'm pretty sure they at least had a hand in developing the story if they didn't outright. Let me just look it up. If they didn't outright write the story, I think that they certainly had a hand in. Let's see. It was written story by Barry Schwartz, so I don't really know what that means. It was directed by Akiva and produced by the Lonely Island, or at least they were on the producing team. Writers. Okay, so written by Dan Greger and Doug Mand. So not written by the Lonely Island, but still I feel like you can feel their influence on it, It definitely has that like kind of sort of I guess the closest thing I can compare it to is Pop Star Never Stop Never Stopping, where you're like kind of making fun of like a particular genre, which is like Disney animation or big animated films. Like, just to name a couple of the cameos I saw in there: Who Framed Roger Rabbit, the Paula Abdul, and the cat from the song that Paula Abdul, what is it? Opposites Attract. The My Little Pony was in there. There was like a ton of different cartoons, like all kind of in that
It's all
whole
before
world.
my time.
Yeah, so maybe it's just maybe not meant to hit your demographic. I don't know.
Yeah, so it's a cartoon movie for 40s people, people in their 40s. I can't quite picture that
That's a good
being
question.
a thing.
But I think it could still. Well, it's hard to say. I'm trying to look at it and objectively and be like, would children get those jokes? The jokes that they put up front seem to be more for adults, but
Mhm.
I feel like the movie is probably still a kids movie, right? I mean,
Yeah, it the energy
Mhm.
seems like for kids and families, but the backstory, like not the backstory, but the knowledge you would need to appreciate what's going on,
The
like,
tone's a
would
little
not be for
strange.
kids.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, I've been telling people because people were sending me this trailer over text message when it came out, and they're like, "What do you think?" And I'm like, "I think it's weird. Like, I'm all for it." I mean, I'm intrigued by all these different animation. I'm intrigued by the idea that it is a examination of different styles of animation over time. That's kind of fascinating to me. Like, what does that have to do with Chippendale? Like, does that mean they're finding themselves obsolete in this world of like VR? Not that they mentioned VR, but VR and like, like Pixar animation. Like, is there something to do with hand drawn animation being like on its way out? Obviously, we see the character Andy's playing has like given themselves a CGI makeover, which I thought was kind of funny. I mean, because
Mhm.
like, Sonic the Hedgehog got a CGI makeover. Anyway, I think that I'm interested in what exactly is the hook? What is the plot? It seems to be like washed up Disney cartoon characters have to come back together for some reason, but I don't know what that reason is. They didn't give me what the reason is. I don't know. Did you get it? Because I've watched this trailer a couple times now, and I
No.
couldn't figure out like why are we back
I mean,
together?
the tone and the characters of Chippendale, which I didn't watch the show, but I
Mhm.
associated it with, like, kids shows. I don't know, like,
Yeah, that would be a fair assessment,
I
I
don't know,
think.
so the tone of this, just the fact that they are chipmunks and it looks like an '80s cartoon type thing just put me
Mhm.
off, and so I wasn't really fully engaged or
Okay.
fully aware of the story, like,
Mhm.
I just assumed that it was something I wouldn't be interested in,
Okay,
like,
so you
the
saw the
story.
80s cartoon and you were like, your body
It's
just
like
shut down.
yeah.
Okay, fair. I obviously, as a kid who grew up in the 80s, that intrigues me. So I'm sure I'll end up watching this with my kids. I don't think we're going to cover this on the show because it is a kids' cartoon, unless I watch it and I'm like, no, we should definitely talk about it. And then maybe I'll buy you dinner or something so that you will feel less upset that I'm making you watch this. At the moment, I don't think we're planning on covering it. Although, certainly, listeners, you can let us know what you think. Do you want us to talk about Chippendale Rescue Rangers on this podcast? Sure. Can I thirst after a chipmunk? Probably. I'm shameless. So, tweet at us at AdamAndyPod and tell me if you think that we should watch this. I'm sure that I will end up probably seeing it inadvertently because of my kids. So I guess I'll report back to you. But I don't have any emotional stakes in the characters Chippendale. So if they took liberties with those characters, I don't really have any problem with that. But I'm also not so interested in it that I'm like very nostalgic for it. I am
Mhm.
intrigued by all these other cartoon characters that are in there. The thing that I found to be the funniest in the whole trailer was the world where everybody's animation looks weird, like I'd call it the Polar Express effect. Like, did you watch the Polar Express movie when you were a kid?
I avoided it because it creeped me out.
It looked creepy, right? But in the
Yeah.
early days of like kind of CGI animation or whatever, or I don't even know if CGI animation is the word for it, but like, yeah, I guess CGI animation, the world of computer animation, like as it was kind of coming up, it looked very weird and creepy. And
Except for Toy Story. Toy Story was delightful.
right, because Toy Story was still a cartoon, like they weren't trying to render realistic faces.
I see what you're saying, yes.
And so that whole bit really made me laugh where they were like, "You don't look like you're looking at
It's like,
us."
"I'm looking at you."
I
I'm
know.
looking at you.
It was that part made me laugh. I was amused.
Yeah.
That part was funny. I too was a little weirded
Jack.
out. Yeah, Jack's back here taking a nap
I just
behind
think
me.
he's cute. Just if you're watching, you can definitely see Jack kind of like snoozing behind Nicole.
Jack, my Shetland sheepdog. He is taking a nap behind me on the floor.
He's
Those
so
of you who are watching
cute.
on the YouTube channel. Anyway, yeah, I'll probably watch it, and I don't know if we'll talk about it on the show. Maybe we'll spend like a little time talking about it. But listeners, if you want us to talk about it, we live to serve you. So tweet at us at AdamAnyPod and tell us what you think. Should we talk about Chippendale? I'm not above thirsting after a chipmunk.
I'll watch it if it's part of the deal.
Sure.
I mean, like I should say it's not something I would actively seek out, but if it was something that like was something we watched for the show, like that's fine.
Sure. Yeah. All right. Speaking of things that we've watched for the show, would you like to talk about these Lonely Island shorts?
Yes, please. I think you have a list of them. We can go down
I have
the list.
a list. I have a long list. I felt like we could maybe, I don't know how to go about this. This is really different for us. So maybe we start with our general impressions, and then maybe I'll go down the list and maybe name off some of these shorts that we watched, and it'll be like this is like the Monet of the Adam and Andy podcast. We're just like giving a little impressionistic thoughts, I guess. I don't know how to get into this too deeply, but I do think now, having watched a bunch of them, that there are some conclusions we can draw from maybe this early part of their career. So listeners, just kind of recap for you what we watched this week. Sarah and I sat down at my computer and we went to the Lonely Island YouTube channel and we watched a lot. I would say at least 20 shorts, if you include the Boo, the 8-episode web series. It was definitely like looking back into a portal of early 2000s internet comedy, for sure.
I watched these in like 05, I think. So way closer to when they were made than like today.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about, I think here's what I would like to do first then. Tell us a little bit about how you kind of came across these, like what these videos meant to you at the time, like, or just anything generally about like your history with these Lonely Island videos.
Sorry, yawn. I think basically I saw Andy on SNL and I had a little crush on him. I thought he was very cute. And I was like, I want to look into like, you know, what he used to do. And so I looked up him online and found the Lonely Island website, which I don't know if it exists and it doesn't exist in the same form anymore. But back then it was like its own separate, like it was very old fashioned.
So it looked like a 90s website.
Yeah. And like it was like just basically a bunch of their old stuff, which at the time wasn't that old. And so I just clicked around and actually I did this with my family. So I think all of us kind of sat around and watched like My Pants and Ka-blamo and like some of the old stuff.
Yeah.
And my brother and I mean, we'll get to it, but a few of the lines that they say in some places, like we would just like have that be like our catchphrase around the house for a few years, I think.
What
just
were
like
some of your
like,
catchphrases? Anything you can share that holds up?
Glasses on.
Nice.
The
nice.
squirrel.
Yeah.
And I forget what else, but I think just like some of the things that they say. I don't know, but it was I don't remember thinking that they were good. I just remember thinking they were weird and funny. And maybe they were in 2005 or 2001 or whenever they were released. But looking at it through today's lens, when like there are like millions of people creating content every day, really good content, like this doesn't this would have been good back then, but for today's stay standards, at least, doesn't quite
Mhm.
measure up.
Yeah, I wanted to. So I want to talk a bit about that. I think that one of the interesting things you said I thought while we were watching this was that you were like, these guys are big stars now. Like they've been like Andy's a huge star. Yorma has had a really successful career. Akiva is a successful director, and The Lonely Island is like this huge, phenomenon in itself. And yet they still have these old videos that they basically shot with the cheapest camera possible, to terrible lighting. The writing is not great. But they left it up there. And what do you think the reason for that is? Like, why leave up all these old videos that don't uh measure up to what their quality of work is now?
Because these videos were what got them their break. I
Yeah.
think. I think it would be unfair to the fans
Mhm.
and unfair to the people who
Mhm.
followed them and liked them, and like I'm so
Mhm.
glad they're up because like
Mhm.
I like to see like the growth, the progression of
Mhm.
a career, and
Mhm.
it's you don't often get to see that with a lot of actors because
Mhm.
a lot of actors like,
Try to bury their old bad shit.
but also like it's when you make something that's like a professional
Mhm.
film, like it's not that bad. Like even the bad films are like, well, it's still a film, it's still a
Mhm.
real film. But like
Yeah.
these were like videos that they
Yeah,
shot
like, just, like,
themselves.
pulled it together on a
So it's like
weekend.
all them. It's
Yeah,
not
it's all
anyone
them,
else's
100%. Yeah.
collaboration. It's all them. And but I really do think it's important to not hide your old work.
Your origins.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's like yeah, like I wouldn't I'm okay with people seeing my first films and um I'd even be okay with them seeing the film I made when I was 13
Mhm.
and it was truly cringy,
Mhm.
but it's something that I made with my best friend and like
Mhm.
we were very proud of it at the time. And
Mhm.
so I just want to like I guess it's nice to see that they, you know, still allow people to see that stuff.
Yeah, and I wanna emphasize to our listeners that I don't think we were sitting there going like, "This is bad, and I hate that I'm watching this." Although at one point, I think somewhere around episode 5 or 6 of The Boo, short for Malibu, by the way, I was like, "Wow, how much more of this is there?" I feel like I'm struggling to get through the rest of this. But I think that I think there are a lot of parts of these videos that are fun and funny, and I feel like if you're a fan of Andy's work, not that we've gotten to there at this point, but they're definitely worth checking out, and they all have a bit of charm to them. I think what's really charming about them is like these three guys and their relationship as creators together, and how they like were really like trying to find what their style was, and you can see like a
Mhm.
little bit of hints of what that style is, like
They
a little
like
taste of it.
yeah, they were definitely trying to find their style. I think that they were doing spoofs of all
Hmm.
kinds of different styles and
Yes.
different types of things.
Hmm.
And even not just spoofs of types of things, but spoofs of tropes and
Yes.
stories and
Yep.
jokes that have already been made that were like put into a different kind of scenario and like
And spoofs is something that they continued to do. Like if you look at
mhm,
their more mature work, I can't really put the sport movies in that category, even though those are spoofs because that's not a
mhm,
Lonely Island thing. But like Pop Star or the Bash Brothers, those are all
mhm,
definitely spoofing a musical style,
yeah,
so that was, you can really, if you look at like say the Bash Brothers experience and Ka-blamo,
mhm,
like there's a huge difference there in terms of the sophistication and
mhm,
the production value, but
mhm,
there should be. These were
mhm,
made 20 years ago, with no money. So yeah, there
mhm,
definitely should be a progression there, but you can see that they're still working on some of the same things. Like mentally, they're working this out in their with what they're creating.
Yeah.
That stuff is still there.
Yeah.
So there's that. So I think they were they were fun to look at for that reason. I too think that the cool thing, well, there's two things that kind of came to mind while you're talking about this. One, yes, I think it's important for people to see the way artists progress in their work. Like, if you go, not don't at me, America, for comparing The Lonely Island to Vincent van Gogh, but if you go to like that Van Gogh interactive experience, that was, I don't know if you went to that when it was here, but basically it was like a whole Van Gogh exhibit in Atlanta, and they're like showing his early sketches and then his later work, and like this is sort of like that, but with like comedy videos. Like
Yeah.
these early Lonely Island videos are like the sketches where they're like just trying to work things out, like literally like rough sketches an artist would make, and then you can see the complexity of their work kind of increase. And so there's something I think really that we don't get a lot as filmmakers, which is to see how people's content changes. Like
That's what I'm saying.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's valuable, and most people don't. Well, most people hide their early work because they're like, this is like not representative of who I am today, but it is representative of who you've been, and so that's valuable. And
It
yeah,
is valuable.
I definitely think they're keeping it up there because their fans want that stuff to stay up. I don't know that they're putting it up there for a community service. In a way, it's almost like there's something like really almost like arrogant. It's not arrogant, but like almost like a finger in the air to like Hollywood, to be like, I'm going to keep up my shitty videos because I know that it's not going to impact my career, because I'm loved for what I can do now, and looking at my early work that is kind of weird and doesn't always hold up at times is not going to change. If anything, it's going to make me more endearing, which I think it does.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but like those videos were literally the things that
Yes.
got them their job, that got
Which is
them
kind
their
of
big
insane.
break.
Because like it does remind me of like amateur TikTok videos. Honestly, they feel like amateurish TikTok videos at this point, and they were very amateurish YouTube videos. But yet now these guys are like fucking making a show for Disney Plus.
And that's the thing. There's so much more content now. There's so many more adept content creators that are very talented at creating content. Like it's just,
but that competition, I think, has led to people having to step it up, like the production value, and also like the tools are better. Like in the early 2000s when they were making these videos, you couldn't get like a 6K camera, cinematic camera and cinematic lenses to shoot these videos. Like the lenses on our cameras, like our phones, I mean, our phone cameras are better than the lenses that they were using on these videos.
Yeah, that was something else that
the tools have
saw
changed as well.
That was something else that I noticed last night, is that everything was way blurrier than I remember.
Because it's
and
low resolution.
It wasn't my eyesight. It was just like,
it's low resolution.
But like back then we were so used to low res, like faux photos and videos, that it didn't read as being as bad as it is. At least for me, like I was so used to seeing that.
You probably were watching it on like well, you may have been watching it on a television, but you probably weren't watching it on a super high res monitor either. Like, I've got like a 5K, computer monitor.
It like started to hurt my head. After a while,
at one point we made the video smaller, so because we were like, I can't see. But and it's not just the video quality like that's changed, but the writing. Like obviously the writing and the acting got a lot better. Like I want to emphasize, like I'm aware that the technology of cameras has changed since the early 2000s, but you can see how their writing and acting progressed as well. Yes. I also think there's something interesting about how the internet itself is like a time capsule. Like everything we do on the internet, even if The Lonely Island decided tomorrow, like I'm going to wipe these videos off the map, you can go back and through a Wayback Machine, you can dig up old websites. So like nothing ever really dies on the internet. And so like with their videos being up like that, it also speaks to the enduring power of the internet and how it never forgets anything. And so why bother getting rid of them? They're part of internet history, right?
Yeah.
Okay. let's talk a bit more about each video. So I'm not gonna I don't think we can get into too much detail, but we definitely watched a bunch of stuff. Ka-blamo. So we watched that was the first one we watched.
I think that was the first one that I watched
Mhm.
too. Not last night, but like way back in time. Um,
It was
and
quintessential Lonely Island, I feel like. Like that was one of the most Lonely Island videos we watched, I feel like,
yeah,
last night.
I just liked it because it was so weird and like stupid. Like I just
Yes.
like when I first saw it, I was like, how stupid a line is it? Like when you're a coal miner and you forget what coal is. It's like,
Or like when your jello jiggles, Ka-blamo. So I
yeah,
guess of course the idea of Ka-blamo is that it's like something really great, right?
yeah, yeah,
And there's something really like fun and so like just a spirit of fun about that exists,
yeah,
that it's not about anything serious. It's just
yeah,
a bunch of guys rapping about stuff that has no relation to each other, that seems like
yeah,
enjoyable.
yeah.
Um my first thought, because this was our first video that we watched, was my first thoughts were, oh my god, look at these babies. But then also like, wow, Andy just really stands out as like he's so pretty. Like
Mhm,
he just looks so pretty. He's
mhm,
got his hair is this weird, like this early 2000s like feathered hair he's
mhm,
got going on. The jawline, Jesus
mhm.
Christ. He just like really stood out to me as like the pretty one of the three of them.
That's probably why he got the SNL job, with him being the face of them.
Maybe, but also I think Andy, and I want to also pull this into The Backseat Man, which is another one we watched, where Andy plays like an old-timey character who like lives in someone's back seat.
Mhm,
Where he was like doing this weird English accent and stuff. I feel like even though Andy's performance is like very over the top and broad,
mhm,
you can still like Andy's screen presence is very watchable.
mhm,
And so yes, he's pretty, but also and I'm going to tie this also into when we talk about the Boo, cuz Sarah Chalk was in the Boo, and Sarah Chalk jumps off screen.
mhm,
Like you can see that she is meant to be a star in
mhm,
this really stupid like internet sitcom that they did. She
mhm,
outshines all of them.
mhm,
And I think Andy really jumps out to me as like someone who has charisma
mhm.
and is really watchable. And yeah, I think that definitely shows in these early videos.
Yeah, I agree.
Um, I wrote it down as Andy's star power. I think you can see the star power. It's like really obvious to me. Do you
Yeah.
think the other two guys have that kind of star power?
Akiva, no. Akiva is better behind the camera.
Yeah.
Yorma, I find him even more adorable than Andy. I find Andy
Mhm.
has more charisma and more
Mhm.
like hotness, but
Mhm.
Yorma has an adorableness that
Yeah, you really seem taken with Yorma while we were
I
watching
just think
these.
he's so cute. Like, um,
I can't
yeah,
I can't not see Booth Jonathan when I look at him. Like I just can't. Like every
yeah.
time I look at him, I'm like, that's Booth Jonathan. Those of you guys who don't know what I'm talking about, Booth Jonathan is a character that Yorma played on Girls, who was this smarmy, like pretentious arty guy, and like he did great with it. And I know Yorma's not really that guy, but it's like every time I look at his face, like that's what I see. So he was just too good at playing that character. I don't know.
Okay.
So I just but yeah, I think Yorma, what would I say about Yorma? Like they're all funny though. I will say that.
Mhm.
Like they clearly have like a chemistry as a group. And
Mhm.
even though Akiva is not like I'm not like, ooh, give me like I'm not, my eyes not drawn to him in the same way that
Mhm.
my eyes drawn to Andy. Like Akiva is funny, and you can tell that I don't think that at least the videos we watched, I don't know that they were the best showcase of directing, because like I don't think the focus was on finding the coolest shots. Now when we talk about the Boo, there were a couple of directing bits that I went, oh yeah, I see that. That is a good choice that Akiva made that we can talk about. But yeah, I think in summation, I just feel like Andy is kind of the standout star to me. And I kind of see how he landed where he did. Now, would these guys have been plucked from obscurity had the internet not have been such a crowded marketplace the way that it is today? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what you think. Do you think they would have been plucked from obscurity had they been trying to compete with today's, like, had Ka-blamo been trying to compete with today's best TikTok videos? Do you think they still would have? You don't think so?
Probably not. But
It's hard to judge.
Star power is so hard to understand or quantify or even to qualify. Like what it's like unexplainable, indescribable, and it's very subjective. And it's like
Yeah.
I can't even pinpoint what gives Andy star power versus what doesn't give someone else star power. It's like charisma isn't enough. Like
It's true. Yeah. It's true.
I don't know. It's weird.
The other thing I wanted to say about Backseat Man is that it's very clear that that was like the nicest car they could get access to that day. And that just made me laugh that it was like a fucking sedan or something.
Yeah.
And they're like, this is a car that a guy that picks people up would drive.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about Stork Patrol?
Sure.
You look like you
It's
don't.
a little dirty.
So Stork Patrol is a song about a bunch of guys who want to have sex with a giant stork that's made out of toilet paper.
Yeah.
I will say, like, I was a little worried about going back into the vault because I was like, okay, I know what guy humor in the 2000s, early 2000s was like. And yes, facts, some jokes do not hold up. There were some definite like homophobic and even like a bit of like transphobic jokes that definitely were not cool. Weren't cool then. And, you know, I think most people would frown upon them now. And I'm sure that, and I think I've heard Andy in interviews talking about how like some of their early work is like, they're like, you know, we made jokes that like, you know, we wouldn't do today that, you know, like you look back on it and you're like, ugh, gross. But that is to say that even Stork Patrol, which is about three guys who want to fuck a stork, wasn't as like broy and offensive to me as I would have expected it to be.
It was, well, how it began was it was these three men, you know, they're
boys. We can call them boys. Are they men? I don't know.
Three boys. And they see these three women get out of young women around their age, get out of a car, and they're like cute. They're like the hot girls of the day. And
whoever
instead
they got to come to set that day.
Yeah, exactly. And so instead of lusting after the hot women, they see this toilet paper stork climb out of the car, and they're like, that one is for me.
So not only, but the thing is, not only did they want to fuck the stork, they wanted to wife the stork.
Yeah.
Like they wanted the stork to come out of the building and that the stork was sequestered and marry them. So there was more depth to this relationship than just a man and fuck stork, fuck storking. Okay, I don't know what else I can say about Stork Patrol. Let's see, what else? I think we do need to talk a little bit about Glurk, which was apparently some kind of thing they filmed for a pilot, which again, one of the things I came away with was like, damn, like making stuff is hard. It's hard to get pilots made. I mean, you and I have got projects we're trying to like make happen, and it's like, it's hard. And like watching, like, you know, it's like they've got this weird, you know, sci-fi comedy thing where Andy's dressed like an alien and the makeup was decent. And Yorma's trying to repair a ship.
The set was not that great, though.
The set looked like something that they had made in someone's basement.
Or like in the 60s.
It did, but maybe that was on purpose. Maybe it was supposed to look like a 60s kind of sci-fi set. I don't know. The makeup on Andy, the alien, was pretty good.
Yeah, Nicole took a minute before she was like, wait,
I didn't recognize him at first. I was like, hang on. And they obviously had made this as like a pilot for a sketch comedy show. And so it was interesting to see that. I don't know that I have too much to say about it other than...
Well, it was
Andy was. Yeah, you go
the
ahead.
joke was that the alien has both female and male sex organs, and established that, and then like years pass,
And he's
and
trying to get Yorma to have
he's
sex
trying
with
to
him.
get an
them.
astronaut, I guess.
He's trying to. Well, they're crashed on a.
Yeah.
He's trying to get Yorma to have sex with them.
Mm-hmm.
But they wouldn't. He didn't. They didn't use the word them because again, this is a joke that doesn't hold up at all. And so like the idea of like a alien that has both sex organs or a non-binary or whatever intersex, whatever it is that they were trying to say is something that obviously doesn't hold
and
up.
then eventually Glurk, the alien, fixes Yorma's ship.
So Yorma
and
can go
it
back to his
ends
family.
with Yorma's character saying that before he went home, he did have sex with Glurk and he liked it.
Good for them.
Yeah.
Now, while the whole joke made me profoundly uncomfortable because of its very tone deafness, there was one thing about it that made me laugh, and that's when Glurk was like, "I have both male and female parts, and only one of them is a virgin." That made me laugh. I was like, okay, you got me with that one. So should we talk about the boo? Because I feel like this is like the best way for us to kind of look at a comprehensive storyline. So the boo was sort of what did you call it? An OC,
like
maybe
the OC, yeah. Like,
or what was that show with the MTV kids? Oh yeah, it was like an OC or like one of those like teen.
I think it was explicitly making fun of the OC.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it also seemed to be making fun of like Kung Fu Karate Kid type movies.
Yeah. It was like let's put the Karate Kid on the OC.
Yes, that's exactly what it felt like. Again, I want to just say that Sarah Chalke is in this, and
she's only in like 3 episodes.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. But I was like, wow, the writing is not good of this show.
No.
But she made it so like better than it should have been.
Yeah.
Like you can really see a talented actor at work. And the way that she did it was because she played everything completely serious. Like this, that she was in a very serious drama. And let the absurd situation be funny, which again, you and I talked about this last night. We were watching it. Like Sarah and I, we do comedy, and our thing, kind of our style when we're shooting something is always like everyone in this world is taking this seriously. No one is, because it's, to me, it's always funnier when you're not pushing the joke. Like it's always funnier when you let the world and that's around everyone be funny. And I think some actors just inherently, even while playing something very seriously, are funny. Like that's what you want, is somebody who's inherently funny, who doesn't need to push the joke, but is taking everything in the world very seriously.
Yeah.
That's how, when I think comedy is at its best. And Yorma and Andy sort of got there towards the end of that 8-episode arc, but definitely in the first episode or two, they were really pushing those jokes hard in a way that they wouldn't now, because their acting has grown. They've developed those acting skills that maybe they didn't have when they were 22. So I don't really know what to say about this other than it was hard to watch at times. It definitely gave me that flashback to early web series and how you could just kind of shoot anything really. And Sarah Chalke, who plays the only female character in this, there were no women really except for her, disappears a lot. There are several episodes she's not in. And she's
played by a man who was in a few other sketches with them.
Was he part of the Lonely Island? He's almost like the Pete Best of Lonely Island. He's like the fourth Lonely Island member, it seems like. I don't know what happened to that guy. I feel like we should have looked him up, but she was played by a guy who was doing a decent job.
Yeah, he was doing like an impression of her, basically.
He did a decent job. And then at some point also a puppet.
A puppet, yeah.
And you were upset because you felt like that was like saying that the female character is interchangeable with a puppet.
A man and a puppet.
Which, yeah, I feel like if that was on purpose, I would agree. But I think it
I
wasn't.
think it was probably because she was like unavailable.
I think she was probably doing Scrubs.
Yeah.
and they had asked her to be on the show probably, and she was like, oh yeah, sure, that sounds fun. But then she probably ended up not having enough time to do it every month, because it sounds like we'll
They were
talk
doing
about
it every
episode
month,
8,
yeah.
but it sounds like they did an episode every month, and maybe she just wasn't available like that month, so they put somebody else in there. But
Yeah.
if it was a choice, what do you think it says about the women in the show? There's only one woman. Do you think it says anything about women and
It
how
says that character wasn't important
Mhm.
enough to wait for her to be available?
Well, I think they were I think they at that point they had been contracted by a Channel 101 to make these episodes, and so I think they had to keep
This
pumping
was
out
on
this
a
content.
channel?
It says Channel 101. It says it was made for Channel 101. I don't even know what that is, but yeah, I think they were getting money to make this of some kind. Or at least they had an agreement with them to make content every month.
Wow.
The camera work in this is painful. It hurts. It
Dizzying.
hurts my eyes. But there were a couple, again, to give it to Akiva, there were a couple of really funny moments that were director choices that I really liked. There was a scene where Yorma's character is like talking to his dad about how hard, like about the dead brother or whatever, and the dad comes to check on him, and he opens the door, and he should be opening a door from a hallway, but he's like inside of a closet, and so it's like showing how shitty the set is, but it was so strange, and nobody commented on it, that it made me, I thought it was very funny. And then when Yorma leaves, he goes through the same closet, but when he opens the door on the other side, he's coming outside the house. That was funny. I really enjoyed that. And then there was that other cut that you and I both noticed where it was like, Sarah Chalk's character Melissa is being pursued on the bike, and the bad guys are gonna kidnap her or shoot her or hit her with a car or something. And they cut from Yorma's character is supposed to go on a date with her. He leaves some flowers like on the ground dejectedly by her house, and we cross dissolve from the flowers to this red bush of flowers that's like almost
for me,
like
it was like
flash
blood.
of violence. Yeah. And then we pan down to the bike. I was like, okay, all right, very heavy-handed, but for a web show, I thought that was a good editing moment. And I remember we were like, oh, look at this visual style here. Yeah, the Boo, I'll tell you, the Boo was not my favorite. There were a couple things I would have liked to have seen. I would have liked to have seen there be some kind of commentary on, I think there's a missed opportunity to comment on how white people are always like co-opting Asian culture for movies like this. Like, I feel like there was something in that could have been in there that wasn't. And I wish there had been. I got to also give it to the bad boy Craig, who was acting his ass off as well. Don't know what happened to him.
Definitely good.
He was acting his ass off. Also, you brought up that a popular Lonely Island theme and throughout their work, dad issues was a big part of this. We had a bad dad and some father-son problems that came up. So there was that sort of repetitive theme, not repetitive in a bad way. I just mean like it's something they like to talk about is dad stuff. And the tone of it was very weird. I remember the ending was like really dark, right? Like, doesn't Craig, the bad son, he like shoots himself. It's very like I was like, is this a comedy? I can't tell. There was like, I know like the OC, I've not watched the OC, but I believe it's supposed to be very dramatic, right? So there was that, but I don't know. It was very absurd at times, but then also very dark at times. Like at one time they drugged Melissa, and I was just like, wow, I don't know what the tone of this is. I don't know how you feel about that.
Yeah, it almost feels like it's kind of like certain people, whether they be white people or men, or, they joke about things like that, thinking that who cares? It's just a joke. It's funny. But to people in those marginalized groups, It's not a joke. It's not
Mhm.
funny. It's not like a casual, like, yeah, they're drugged and
Mhm.
yeah, she gets kidnapped. Who cares? You're like, so
Mhm.
maybe to them it wasn't as serious
Yeah.
as it would seem to be to us.
Yeah, and, like, especially the, like, suicide at the end was, like I was like, "Whoa,
Yeah.
holy shit." Anyway, my you know what my favorite episode of The Boo was?
8.
Episode 8, where they weren't able to get anyone to make the episode that month. So they
Yeah.
made a very dumb song about how they couldn't get their
They
shit
were like, we
together.
didn't do the Boo this month. We didn't do the Boo.
It was so funny and charming. I'll say in general, like just to kind of not wrap this up, but maybe to tie all this together. I think The Lonely Island in their early work was at their best when they were doing a music video.
Yes.
The music
Yes.
videos definitely the comedy and the skill and the style, you could see that they had a really clear point of view in the music videos, and like they're writing in a narrative scene or a sketch or something. Like most people, I think most comedians, it takes a while to figure out like the right tone and also when is too much. Like maybe you can make this shorter.
Mhm.
I think that some of the funniest sketches for me from them was the Castaways, which were like 30 seconds long, where like it's just a bunch of guys on a deserted island, and like Yorma can't grow a beard, and they just did little snapshots, like things you would see on TikTok.
Mhm. Yeah.
But yeah, I think the music videos were really where they were at their best in those early days, I think.
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay. Last thing I wanted to say before we move on from the Lonely Island shorts, unless you had something else we didn't talk about that you wanted to talk about.
Uh
Well,
I
you think
guess
about that. Oh no, go
okay.
ahead. Go ahead.
No,
You said
this might be the thing you're gonna bring up, but the what if they had been 3 women? Is that what
Oh
you're gonna bring
yeah,
up?
I would like to talk about that. Yeah, let's talk about that. If they had been 3 women making these type of videos, do you think they would have risen to the place that they did? Or even 3 people of color who were making these videos, or I like anyone who's not 3 white men.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
Mm-mm.
Do you want to expand on that, or
Well, I think it's just throughout history, that's just kind of how what's happened. Like, I can't think of, I mean, besides the Broad City
well there's
women,
yeah, there's Broad
Kate
City.
McKinnon actually was on a few web series before she got on SNL.
Yeah, Broad
Um,
City started out as a web show, and
mhm.
also Insecure. Issa Rae's show started
Insecure,
out as a
yeah.
yeah.
So I guess like it's not a given the 3 women wouldn't have
Mhm.
gotten to that, but I feel like back then in 2001,
This was the kind of comedy people were looking for.
yeah.
Yeah, I think that's fair. It's hard for me to not look at a Lonely Island and also not think about the 3. There's 3 guys that recently got hired on staff at SNL called, I think it's called Please Do Not Destroy. That's their group. They've been doing some videos on SNL, but I had kind of seen them coming up through Twitter and all the videos they were doing on Twitter, and they're
Did you say
very
they're 3
funny.
white men?
Yes.
Okay.
They are actually really like their videos are funny. The reason I was aware of them before they got hired on SNL was because their videos are shared a lot, and anytime one of them would come up, I would watch it, and they're very funny and off kilter. And so there's something about that torch, I think, being carried again. Would I like to see, a group of 3 black women, or 4 black women, or 5, or women, or someone, just someone who's not 3 white men, 3 straight white men, being elevated in this way. Would I like to see that? Yeah. 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 I would.
That's not saying that white men
Could
can't
we?
make comedy and shouldn't be allowed to. It's
No,
just like
but maybe they should sit the fuck down at some point. Or maybe can we make room for other voices? Maybe
room,
can we make some room? The guys, the Please Do Not Destroy guys are very funny. I'm not saying they're not. I'm just saying like how many other people out there are also very funny that aren't getting the same opportunities. I didn't mean for this to turn into this, but it is a topic that I'm passionate about. No, I'm glad you brought this up because we did talk about this last night. We were like, man, if 3 women were doing this in 2001, no one would have. They wouldn't be on SNL. You know what I mean? Like it just.
Yeah.
I I don't want to sound like I'm a hysterical woman, but that's just the facts. And I don't know that it's gotten that changed that much. And I'm happy for them. I think we had this discussion where you were like, do they deserve the success they've got? And I was like, well, I think everyone deserves success and to have follow their dreams. Like, would these guys I guess this is where I want to end up. Do we see in these early videos the potential that where these guys are now? Because I don't think we can argue that these are very high level, they're good actors, they're good comedians, they're creative, they have good ideas, they make content that people want to see. Like they're obviously very skilled, but without the resources and the opportunities to get to the point where they are now, do we see the evidence of that potential in these early videos? Do you think?
I think for me, Ka-blamo, when I first saw it, I saw the rudimentary aspects that would become their SNL shorts.
For sure.
And even though it was not very good, it was still like really weird and different.
Yeah.
And
catchy.
That is the thing that set them apart, was that they did weird, unexpected stuff.
And I like it when comedy's unexpected. I do. I really do. I definitely think you can see the seeds. I'm looking forward to us, because we will return to this, either as part of looking at Andy's SNL work, or I almost feel like maybe we should do like a volume 2 of this where we go and look at the Lonely Island, but maybe in the SNL era.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, like we have to.
I think we should do that maybe independent of Andy's SNL work. Like I think we should look at Lonely Island in SNL era by itself, and also Andy's work on SNL separately, because I want to reflect on this when we look at their work as they're like as they're developing their skills, as they're improving, as they're really sharpening their tool, and also when they have better resources, access to better resources. I hope I'm not coming across too negative about this, but like what can you really expect from internet videos from 20 years ago? Like they had some good moments, some also really painful moments. And Andy has a beautiful cheekbones. I think that's definitely a takeaway for me here. Sarah, before we get into our moments of thirst, would you recommend a fan of Andy's work check out these early Lonely Island shorts, these pre-SNL Lonely Island shorts?
Of course, you have to. If you're a fan, you can't call yourself a real fan unless you go back and watch the old stuff.
I agree. I feel like I'm a real fan now. Also, again, I want to say how much I appreciate the fact that they could have just wiped these videos out of existence and said, we're big time Hollywood now, and we don't need any, like, we don't care if anybody likes these, like, we're going to take them down. And that's not what they're about. Like, they're not trying to hide their old work. They're not trying to hide it. And as someone who's still trying to as you and I are still developing our work and, trying to improve on our kind of whatever we're creating, it is, I think there's something encouraging about looking at someone who's gotten to that level and saying, wow, like they started out just like everybody else does. And they kept working at it until they got to where they are. And, and if you keep on keeping on, you can only get better, So I think there's something to really appreciate about that. But yeah, I definitely think that if you're a fan of Andy's work, go back and check out some of the stuff. Ka-blamo's really fun too. I think that's a good one, especially.
Yeah.
Shall we get into some moments of thirst?
Sure.
Did you find yourself feeling parched while watching these videos?
There were a few moments where Andy was cute, like in the Castaways where
Mhm.
just he's shirtless.
Mhm.
The Boo,
Mhm.
where his hair was floppy, not where it's slicked back, but where it's like
Yeah, I didn't care for the
floppy.
wet dog look. I didn't care for that wet dog look in some of those episodes. His hair was constantly changing. I don't know if that was meant to be a bit, but his hair was like sometimes it was tied back, sometimes it was slicked back,
It
sometimes it was
was like
floofy.
because they did it a month by month. It was
You're
like
right.
haven't gotten a haircut, just got a haircut.
Exactly. Like
You know,
there's no continuity.
yeah. And I think that he definitely has his bravado kind of thing
Mhm.
going on in a bunch of
Mhm.
these. Like
Mhm.
that's not him, like his actual personality,
It's
but
his character that
it's
he
his
plays.
shtick.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was kind of attractive.
Mhm.
I feel like I'm more drawn to Yorma because he's just more like puppy dog-ish.
Yeah, there was definitely some Yorma thirst coming off of you while
Mhm.
we were watching those videos last night for sure.
Yep.
Those are all good moments of thirst. I actually have quite a lot of bullet points here, so I'm gonna try to get through them really quickly because I don't want to take up too much of your time with my thirst. But number one, Andy in a tank. There was a lot of Andy wearing tank tops,
Mhm.
and as you know, I'm a big fan of men in tank tops, so that I appreciated. And then I'm just gonna a couple things I wrote down: jaw, nose.
Nose.
Oh, his nose is so beautiful. That beautiful profile. Lips, his lips were just like, he had those youthful, you know, plump lips. And you can't not look at them while he's singing, or rapping or whatever he's doing. The floofy hair. His
Floofy.
hair is so beautiful. I mean, it wasn't hot rod levels of beautiful, like it wasn't styled or anything yet,
Mhm.
but like the hair was definitely there. Also in the Boo, there's an episode where he's wearing one of those cut off sweatshirts where the sleeves are cut off and shorts, and he was jogging, and the thighs, the thighs, the thighs, the thighs.
I'm gonna go find myself some thighs after this. I love me some thighs.
And those are my moments of thirst.
Nice.
Lots to be thirsty about
Yeah.
in these early. He's a beautiful man.
As you would imagine, I'm normally up for pretty much anything in the bedroom, but I can't tell if what happened was weird or sexy.
Are we ready for some Adam and Andy trivia?
Yes, I actually found.
Can you see my dog is shifted? He's now on my other side.
Yes.
Look at him. He's just passed
The
out.
continuity of dogs sleeping.
He is so tired. Look at that sleepy pooch.
Aw, hello. Okay, I found a BuzzFeed quiz.
Ooh,
The
I'm ready.
ultimate Lonely Island quiz.
Oh God, I'm gonna be terrible at this.
I'm not gonna do all of the questions because some of them don't. I'm just gonna ask you some questions.
Okay.
Why are they called the Lonely Island?
I feel like we went over this before. Do I have options, or do I have to? Is this
It was the
essay question?
There's a four
Okay,
four
thank God.
choices.
Okay.
It was the nickname of their treehouse.
Okay.
It was the nickname of their house.
Okay.
It was the name of a bar they frequently went to. It was the name of a television show that they loved.
I feel like we have gone over this question before, and I'm going to answer probably the same way I did last time, which is probably wrong, but I'm going to say number 2.
It was the nickname of their house?
Yes. Like that was like maybe they were all living in an apartment together.
Nickname of their house.
Nice.
Yep.
Okay. Sweet. Okay.
Okay. This next one is dumb, but it was like, what are the names of each member, which we all know? What was their first digital short to air on SNL?
Lazy Sunday?
I think, yeah.
Okay.
No, it was
It's not
Lettuce.
Oh, I don't know that one. Lazy Sunday is the first the one.
The first one that, I think what was their first sketch to go viral is Lazy Sunday, but their first short on SNL was called Lettuce, which I haven't seen.
Well, we're gonna have to watch it.
We're gonna have to watch it, yeah. And then it's just kind of like questions about their songs, like What Can Save the World, Fingerless Gloves, Boombox, Old People, Boiled Goose.
Boiled goose.
Boombox.
Boombox, of course.
Yeah. Let's see. So some of these include pictures.
Somebody listening to the podcast is shouting at me right now because they probably know all the lyrics and I don't, and I'm so sorry, you guys.
Yeah, it just has a.
No, hit me with one more. Hit me with one last question. Your favorite question.
Okay. Let's see.
I'm on pins and needles.
Okay. What did Yorma eat that made him jizz in his pants?
Oh my God. That's a video that we didn't watch, right?
It is, but it's from the SNL days.
Okay.
Pizza, a grape, meatballs, a banana.
I mean, pizza. Like, it's got to be pizza.
It's from the song.
I know. I'm just guessing. It's got to be pizza.
I know what it is.
You do?
It's a grape.
A grape? That must have been a good grape.
I just ate a grape and I jizz in my pants.
Well, I'll look forward to that. Oh, there we go. Okay. A grape. Well, I'll never look at grapes the same way. I'll tell you that right now. Thank you, Sarah. That was awesome.
Oh, you look awesome. Come the fuck upstairs.
Okay.
But wait, I have to warn you about something.
What?
If you come up here, I'm gonna tie you to my bed and keep you for at least 3 days. I'm just in that kind of mood.
Shall we spin the wheel for what we're going to do next week?
Oh, yes.
I almost put Girls on there. I'm almost ready to put Girls on there, but I think I'm going to give it another month. Because once we hit Girls, we're going to have to watch like the whole first season before we move on to something else. And I know we're about to jump back into Brooklyn Nine-Nine, so I wasn't quite ready for that. But I just, listeners, know that I am almost to the point where I'm ready to throw Girls up on the wheel. I don't know if you're ready for that, Sarah. But
I'm ready for anything.
You're ready for anything. I love it. Okay, so Sarah, on the wheel today, we have Patterson, Frances Ha, Hungry Hearts, and Silence. Okay. So we're spinning the wheel to see what Adam movie we're going to watch next. I have seen only one of these movies. The other three I have not seen.
Come on, Patterson.
Oh, wait, what's happening? I thought I was going to spin the wheel. There we go. Okay. Here it goes. And it's going to be Silence.
Silence. Oh,
Silence.
The monks or the
Yeah. Oh God. I'm going to be honest. This is the first time Silence has even been on the wheel, because I was like, there's nothing thirsty about this to me, but I'm going to give it a try. So it is directed by Martin Scorsese. Who did I say Morton? I meant to say Martin.
You said Morton.
I'm sorry. I know who Martin Scorsese is. I'm a filmmaker, for God's sakes. Martin Scorsese. In the 17th century, two Portuguese. I'm already having problems with this. Two Portuguese Jesuit priests traveled to Japan in an attempt to locate their mentor, who is rumored to have committed apostasy and to propagate Catholicism. I don't know anything about this movie. Do you want to watch a trailer real quick?
Sure.
Because I don't know a goddamn thing about this movie other than Adam is super, super skinny in it. That's all I know. So I'm going to stop sharing real quick, and I'm going to copy paste the trailer, and we're going to watch it together. Okay? Wow, 2 reactions in one episode. So you pull that up and you let me know when you are ready to go, and we will play it at the same time. I don't know anything about this movie other than Adam had to lose a lot of weight to be in it.
I'm at the beginning.
You ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's play. Okay.
Our Lord said to them, "Go ye into the whole world."
Okay. Oof, the accent,
and preach
Sarah.
the gospel to every living creature.
Okay, here we go. Okay, so beautiful locales.
Ferreira is lost to us.
Okay.
He renounced God in public and surrendered the faith.
That's not possible.
Father Ferreira risked his life to spread our faith all over Japan.
It seems to me that our mission here is more urgent than ever. We must go find
Lots of beards.
This is in your hearts, then, both of you. Then I must trust God has put it down.
Okay.
The moment you set foot in that country, you step into high danger.
Wow. This is tense. Oof.
I'm seeing a lot more of Andrew Garfield.
Andrew Garfield, yeah. So, was that? Those were some people being crucified.
The price for your glory is their suffering.
Okay.
It's too dangerous.
We asked for this mission.
Andrew Garfield.
Lots of shots of Andrew Garfield.
Adam Driver. Whoa. He is so skinny.
Yeah.
Liam Neeson. This doesn't look like a feel-good movie.
I know.
Praying to silence.
Also, like 98% of those shots were Andrew Garfield. Only like 2% were Adam Driver. There might have been like 5 shots of Adam and like.
Well, I expect we'll see more of Adam than we probably did in Midnight Special.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps they're saving the sexiest shots for the movie. Like they didn't want us to see how sexy he is in this dirty priest outfit. Seriously. You know I'm kidding, right?
Yeah.
You know I'm going to find something to be thirsty about regardless. This movie tonally seemed like pretty intense, so I've been putting it off, but like, hey, whatever. I'm up for anything. It doesn't look like a Chuckalux good time, but not everything has to be a Chuckalux good time.
I like Andrew Garfield as well.
Sure.
And he looks cute in this.
It seems to be one of those like, Europeans spreading Christianity.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I get that they're Portuguese, but whatever. Europeans spreading Christianity kind of.
Yeah, I hate it.
I hate that. But like maybe this movie is going to comment on why that's problematic.
Yeah, hopefully.
It doesn't seem like it's necessarily saying that that's a good thing.
Yeah.
And I know that I respect Martin Scorsese as a filmmaker, and I do enjoy his movies. I've seen a lot of, I don't know, have you seen a lot of Martin Scorsese films? So at least we're familiar with this director's filmography. And I'm sure the performances will be good. God, I feel like we're just dogging this movie already and we haven't even seen it. It just seems like it's really not fun, you guys. That's why it's been off the wheel for so long. I feel like I'm almost like dreading watching this movie, to be honest, because it looks so not fun.
Oh,
but I'm a completionist.
I like movies that mean something, that are like good. Like sometimes I want to watch that more than I want to watch like a Chip and Dale kind of movie.
For a second there, I was thinking about the strip club Chippendales, and I was I feel like for like a hot second, my brain forgot that like not an hour ago we were talking about chipmunks.
Yeah.
No, you're right. It's not like I can't watch. I mean, it's not like I can't watch a serious film. I can definitely watch a serious. I can watch a serious motion picture. But yeah, it just like it looks a bit like a drag. But I'm ready. I'm ready for the sweat. I'm ready for the black dresses. Maybe Adam will wear a cloak.
Mm-hmm.
Is it too much to hope for a cloak?
He'll wear a cloak. He will.
I mean, I'm a big fan of his cloak work.
Mm-hmm.
I do like Martin Scorsese, and I like Andrew Garfield. So you know what?
Mm-hmm. We'll allow it.
We'll allow it. We'll give this one a whirl, listeners. So that's that's what we're going to be watching next. Silence will be the next film on this podcast. Sarah, would you like to plug your Instagram? You've got a photo shoot coming up, right?
Yes. So my Instagram handle is at Hedgehodges Bodpos. So it's HEDGEHODGES _BODPOS. And it is where I share photos of myself that are body positive and kind of show off my outfits and makeup, and most recently glasses. I have a lot of new glasses.
So cute.
And kind of talk about my story going through an eating disorder and gaining a lot of weight and losing some weight and kind of falling in love with myself after not liking myself for so long. So that's kind of what is going on over there. I do have a photo shoot coming up, but it is of me and my partner. I probably will post some of that are just of me.
Oh, okay.
So I won't post the ones of him, but yeah, we're doing a Valentine's shoot. So we have like a pink background and red fairy lights and like some purple lights.
And you got a new
like
camera?
Some props, and then we have a new camera, we have new lenses. Like, yeah, so it's gonna be fun.
I love it. So everybody check that out. Listeners, I enjoy talking with you about the movies, and I'd love to talk with you about these Lonely Island shorts. Maybe there's one from their early era that we missed that you think that we should watch. You can tweet at us at Adam Andy Pod, or you can find us on Facebook and Instagram at Adam and Andy Podcast. I recently started drawing stuff, so I wouldn't say I'm not good at it, but I've been having a fun time, and so you may have seen some of my things I've been sketching popping up on Twitter mostly. I think I don't know if you saw them, Sarah, but I made some Valentines. I made some
cute.
Niles and Maurizio Valentines. So anyway, I've just been having a little fun with that. So, if you like it, cool. If you don't like it, just be gentle. I'm not a really an illustrator or anything. I'm just doing it for fun. It's just like a fun thing that I do while I unwind at the end of the day. But so I've been enjoying that, and this there's a lot of really talented artists in this fandom drawing a lot of cool stuff, and I don't know, maybe I got a little inspired. So anyways, come hang out with us, talk to us, tell us your favorite Lonely Island short, and next time, silence, Sarah. Shh.